Welcome to Education in Focus. I'm Eliana Kernodle, and today we're talking about a federal judge ordered the California Department of Education and Attorney General Rob Bonta this week to appear in court and show cause for why they should not face sanctions for allegedly misleading the court regarding gender secrecy policies in schools. Joining me to tell us more about this is the Center Square's education reporter, Esther Wickham. Esther, tell us a little bit about the background of this case and what led to these events.
Yeah, thanks, Eliana. So this case has been ongoing. A few years ago, two teachers who are the plaintiffs in this case, Marabella v. Olson, um, basically are teachers in Escondido School District, and they are both Christians. And this new parental exclusion policy, or a new policy within the district, basically told teachers in that district, if a child or a student is identifying as, certain gender or wants certain pronouns, they have to respect that within the classroom, within the school. And if these children are asking these teachers, like, hey, I'm identifying as, a woman, even though I was born as a boy, I'm identifying as a girl, but I haven't told my parents yet. Can't say anything. Don't tell them. And so this exclusion policy basically required all teachers to, in a sense, respect the kids' wishes, not tell the parents. And according to these two teachers, who it kind of went against their belief system, saying, no, parents should have the right to know what's going on with their child's life. They sued the district, as well as the California Department of Education and the AG's office, saying, hey, ultimately, under the First Amendment, we have, the right to express under our religion and our free speech what's going on. And first and foremost, when it comes to education, parents should be in the know. So a couple other plaintiffs joined the lawsuit, some parents that had a child who was identifying as a transgender kid, and he did not, tell the parents, and he had a lot of mental health issues. He was depressed, and he almost, committed suicide. And because he didn't have a community that, knew what was going on, that some of the teachers knew, but they failed to tell the parents. And so the parents are saying, hey, this is something that we should know. We have the right to know so that we can support and help our child in any way that we can. And so the Thomas More Society, which is a law firm, has been representing these teachers and parents and other organizations, going against the school district and saying, hey, this needs to change. Parents should have the right to know their child's, gender identity, and parents know best in ways to navigate, their child's life. And they're saying now, after, the judge has ruled in favor of these teachers, saying, yeah, these policies are actually violating First Amendment rights for, ultimately honesty and transparency with the, education system and these parents. They are, calling out the school district and the California Department of Education and the AG's office, saying, sure, you excluded the policy, or took away the policy that we asked you to take away, but now you're kind of misleading more teachers regarding gender secrecy policies, just kind of in a different way. So this has been going on for a while. And this past month has kind of been resurfacing this issue of asking, what does it actually look like to respect a child that is not wanting to consent to, share their gender identity with their family members for fear of, reaction or what's going to happen, but also respecting the parents' wishes and the parents' ultimate fundamental right to know.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about this change that they made in an effort to comply with the ruling in the court, but that the court is saying is maybe not actually complying?
Yeah, so like I said, the policies that were previously implemented require teachers and administrators in the school district to use preferred pronouns requested by the student. And ultimately, a lot of conservative groups are saying to, ask to hide the child's gender identity from parents. And according to the new filing that has come before the court this past month, the Thomas More Society is saying that the defendants have misrepresented what they allegedly claimed they, had changed their policies. So they said that they had withdrawn these policies, that teachers and administrators were no longer required or forced to comply with that previous policy. But instead, they implemented, as well as other school districts have implemented, this new mandatory teacher training program called PRISM, and it's an online program for certified teachers and educators that essentially provide resources to support LGBTQ plus youth in California. And their claim is essentially, well, everyone has started to do it for the school year, so this is something we're adding on to it. But something the Thomas More Society claims is, well, you implemented this after you withdrew the exclusion policy that you were court ordered to withdraw. They're claiming that this is an egregious attempt to mislead the court because under this online program, it says a way to respect these LGBTQ plus youth is to use preferred pronouns. And if they wish to not tell certain people in their life, you're required to respect that. So like the Thomas More Society has said, and these other parental advocacy groups have said, this is the same thing. It's kind of wolves in sheep's clothing. It's just tweaking and changing the language a little bit to kind of say the same thing, but it's not, exactly explicitly the same thing as before.
And what should we expect going forward? Is there next steps in this process?
The main thing now with this case is the Thomas More Society, filed this to the courts saying, hey, this is misleading. They've implemented this new mandatory training that's basically saying the same thing. And now the judge that's been overseeing this case, U.S. District Judge Roger Benitez, he has, in the past been siding with these teachers and with these parents. And so he has actually ordered them to appear in court and show cause as to why they shouldn't face sanctions. Why should the court not penalize them? Because the evidence is clear, as he states, that this could potentially be misleading. And, what is going on with these agencies, what's actually going on with this department that you can, show and claim that this is different and this was not, intentional to mislead the court. Because if it comes out that this is actually true and these agencies were actually trying to mislead the court, it will not be a happy day for all of these agencies and organizations. So this past week, they were able to have a summary judgment hearing on Monday, November 17th. Nothing explicitly came from this, but it will be interesting to see kind of going forward what the court's decision is. In a statement, one of the attorneys for the Thomas More Society told the Center Square that, they look forward to the court's ruling on this case because precedent has shown the court has been in favor of First Amendment rights, siding with parental, care and support, and ultimately, teachers' First Amendment rights to express their religious beliefs or their views. And they ultimately, want to show that we in education want to uphold the Constitution and want to make sure that teachers and parents have and preserve their justice and their rights first as American citizens, and they shouldn't be silenced and they shouldn't be denied their fundamental rights. And as the Thomas More Society continues to defend their clients, the plaintiffs' freedoms, and ensuring that the Constitution first and foremost governs the schools, I think that's the biggest thing we've seen in this case, is the Constitution going to govern the school, or is the government or the state government going to be able to dictate what teachers and parents can or cannot do? So it will be interesting to kind of see going forward what the ultimate ruling is on this case.
Well, Esther, thank you for telling us all about it, and you can continue to follow where this case goes at thecentersquare.com.